Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to programming with Java. So basically in today's class we are going to continue our course and talk about different types of maps and basically creating a map to understand how it works. So the first thing is, what exactly is a map? So a map, we can see it it's pretty much the same thing as a list, but the only difference is in the indexation. So in a list, you will have your elements indexed by numbers, so by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's all going to be in order. In a map, it's a little bit different. So basically, all your elements will be indexed not by number, but really by a certain keyword. So basically by keywords, or it could be, it could be by key. It will be by a certain key, but it can be a word, it could be a letter, so it could be a string, it could be a number, it could be any data type that you guys want, basically. So what I wanted to do today is pretty simple, is creating a hash map and simply understanding the different operations that to go with the maps. And pretty much the same thing as we did with a list, but the only difference is this time it's going to be with a map. So you'll see there are some slight differences, but it's pretty much the same thing. Another thing, there is a lot of different operations that exist on maps, but what I want to do is really cover the most common operations, because once again, it's not really useful to present all the operations. Because at the end of the day, your goal is really to understand how it works. So simply understand the most common operations and you'll be good to go with maps. So let's start. All right, so first step, pretty simple. What exactly we need to do is import what we are going to use. So in this case, we are going to use maps as well as hash maps, and we are going to import them. So pretty simple, just write down import. And what exactly we want to import? We want to import map as well as hash map. There we go. All right, great. So right now we have everything that we need. Hash map with a capital letter. It's important. There we go. Great, we got it. All right, so basically right now that we have all this, the next step is pretty simple. So what exactly we need to do? We're going to create our map right now. So basically the way the map is created looks a little bit like a list, but it's not like a list. So you'll see it's a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same way. So first thing, in the creation process, so what exactly we need to do? We need to write down map. Then what will be the name of our map? So the project that I want to have is pretty simple. I want to create a project where we are going to have different car brands and the number of cars of those brands left in stock. So this is exactly what we're going to do. So in this case, map, and then the name of our map will be cars. So in this case, map, cars. And what type of basically map we are going to use? We're going to use a hash map. So new hash map. There we go. All right, great. So this would be the first step. So right now, basically our map has been created, and what we can do is pretty simple. We can add elements inside of our map, the same thing as we are doing with lists. So how exactly we can add elements inside of our map? So pretty simple. We are going to use the put function to be able to do so. So how exactly it's working? So pretty simple. We are going to write down the name of our map, which is cars, then dot put. Then the difference between lists is that we are going to simply write down the element that we want to have, and it will be indexed as a number. So basically we're going to have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In maps, it's a little bit different. So what exactly we're going to do? We need to write down the key that will be used in order to basically associate that key with a certain number. So there is no order in maps. Basically, order doesn't exist. the only way that your elements are indexed are with keys. So in this case, our key will be BMW. So just let's go here, BMW. BMW, great. And basically BMW will be associated with the number 3. Here we go. Great, we got it. All right. So what we're going to do right now is pretty simple. We can simply copy everything and simply pass it a little bit, pass it down there. So we're going to create different elements. So right now we're going to have BMW. So what I want to do is have different car brands and basically be able to work with those car brands. So we'll have BMW, we'll have Audi. So let's say we have 2 Audis. Then something else. So let's say we can have Mercedes. So let's say we have 5 of those. Then we can have Honda. Let's say we have 7 of those. And finally, let's say we have Mustang. There we go. And let's say we have 1 of those. All right, great. Right now, this would be the first step. So what exactly we did right now, we simply created our map. So what we want to do right now is simply print it and see what it looks like. So let's print our map and you'll see what it looks like in the terminal. So pretty simple. What exactly we want to print? We simply want to print our map, which is cars. Great. Now, when we have everything, we can simply run our project. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. So we have Mustang, we have Audi, Mercedes, BMW, as well as Honda to finish. So this is what our map pretty much looks like. So as you can see, it's something that is pretty simple to understand the concept. So first thing we have right here, our first element, which is our key. So in this case, our key is Mustang. And here we have the quantity, the element with which the key is associated. All right, right now, the first step is really understanding how we can add elements to our map. The second step is how exactly we can remove elements from our map. Let's say, for example, I want to remove BMW. How exactly I can remove it? So pretty simple, I will simply use another function that is called remove. So pretty much as in lists. So I'll just write down cars.remove. And then what exactly I want to remove. So in this case, I want to remove the element or the key BMW. So I just write it down. And now if, for example, I want to print my, if I want to print once again my, my operation or my map, as you can see, I don't have BMW anymore. I have Mustang, I have Audi, Mercedes, Honda, but I don't have BMW. And once again, as you can see, the order changed. So basically Mustang came first, then we have Audi, then we have Mercedes, then we have Honda. So this is how we can remove elements from our map. So as you can see, it's right now we have learned 2 elements. So how to add elements inside of our map and how to remove elements of our map. So another operation that we can perform when we are working with maps is actually pretty simple, is checking out the size of our map. So in this case, the size of our map should be 4 because we have 5 elements, but we have removed BMW. So how exactly we can check out the size of our map is pretty simple. What we'll do is, we can use the size function, but what exactly we will do is we are going to create a simple variable that we are going to call, let's call it size. And in this case, we're going to check out the size of our map like we are doing in lists. So first thing, we write down the name of our map, which is cars. then we write down size, the size function. And then we can print and check out what will be the size of our map. So in this case, the size of our map should be 4 because we have removed BMW. Whoop, little problem right here. Here we go. So we have 4. So basically everything works pretty fine. All right, the last thing that I want to check out with you guys is basically how we can find out, in this case, an element associated with a certain key. So basically our key, let's say we have the key OD in this case, and we want to know how much ODs we have left. So how exactly we're going to do a search? So in lists, we can check out we can check out an element associated with a certain index. When we're working with maps, we can check out an element associated with its key. So we need to do a key search. So in this case, we're going to search for a certain key. So we can search for example, OD. And when finding out OD, we will be able to know the element associated with OD in this case. So let's try it out. So basically the function associated with all this is called the get function. So we're simply going to write down, well, how it works is pretty simple. We write down the name of our map, which is cars. Then what exactly we are going to do, we're simply going to write down cars.get. And in this case, what exactly we are looking for? We are looking for ODs. So we want to know how many ODs are available in this case. There we go. So right now, basically, the get function will allow us to know how much ODs are left. Or if it's not for ODs, basically, it will allow us to know what is the element associated with the key OD. So in this case, the element associated with this key is 2. So this is a way to find out what element is associated with a certain number. With a certain key, sorry. So basically, as you can see, it's pretty simple to understand. So the main difference between lists and maps is that maps are associated with keys. So basically, you're working with keys. There is no numbers involved. But with lists, you have, all your elements are associated with a certain index. So in maps, as you can see, there is no order, but there is a key association with your elements. So this is how you can store your elements, which is pretty much like a list, but it's different from a list. So this is another way that you guys can store your elements. So there are different map types that exist. But we're going to, the only one that I want to cover is the HashMap, which in my opinion is the most interesting. And besides of that, those are the main functions that works, the main operations that works with maps and that are used while working with maps. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class.